Procrastination steals hours from your day in tiny, invisible ways. If your to-do list feels like a pile of boulders, you can chip it down into pebbles. And first we'll show you exactly how, with steps you can use right now. Start with the 2-minute rule. If it takes 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. Reply to that short email, toss the laundry in the washer, empty one dish. That single habit cuts a surprising amount of clutter out of your day. Use a timer like a tiny coach. Set 10 or 15 minutes. Focus on one clear task, then stop. Example: write one paragraph, clear the top of your desk, or sort 3 receipts. The short deadline defeats the first'll start later trap. Always name the next physical step. Don't write clean the garage. Write take out the trash bag from garage shelf. If you can see the next action, you're much more likely to begin. Remove one obvious friction. Put your phone in another room, open the exact file you need, or put a sticky note on your laptop. Little environment tweaks produce big behavior changes without heroic willpower. Try one of these now. Pick the smallest task within sight and do it for 2 minutes. Stick with these tiny wins, and you'll stop letting daily tasks pile up without overhauling your whole life. Why you delay even simple tasks? The brain favors immediate rewards over future benefits. That's why a quick scroll often beats a 30-minute task that pays off later. That tendency, called present bias, makes small hassles feel disproportionately costly. For example, deleting 3 old emails takes a minute, but your brain focuses on the tiny friction. Choosing words, worrying about tone, fearing a mistake, and amplifies it until doing nothing seems easier. Practical move: convert future rewards into immediate ones. Promise yourself a concrete, tiny treat after a defined chunk of work. A single square of chocolate, a 5-minute break. And set a visible progress mark you can immediately see, like moving a paper clip from to-do to done. Unclear tasks are psychological quicksand. Big labels like clean the house or work on report don't tell your brain what to do next, so it defaults to avoidance. Break tasks into single, actionable steps. Instead of prepare tax stuff, write put all receipts in envelope labeled tax. Or instead of work on presentation, write open slide deck, add title slide, and paste 3 bullet points for the intro. Then start with the smallest possible step and set a timer for just 5 or 10 minutes. You'll often keep going simply because momentum is easier to ride than start. Perfectionism and fear of judgment are frequent culprits too. When the internal critic stands at the door barking about quality, starting feels risky. So you need to write an email to the boss. You delay because it must be perfect. Use a low-stakes first draft strategy. Give yourself permission to produce a terrible version. For example, schedule 15 minutes to write a draft email labeled draft and send it to yourself. Delete the draft or refine it later. That reduces the psychological barrier and makes the task manageable. Decision fatigue and willpower limits make even simple choices feel heavy when you're worn out. Every small decision during a busy day chips away at the energy required to start tasks. Remove friction instead of relying on force of will. Lay out the materials for the task in advance. Reduce steps. Put laundry basket by the washing machine. Or automate recurring decisions with defaults and templates. Email templates, grocery lists. Time block your hardest, least fun tasks when your energy is highest, even if that's just 20 minutes after coffee for you. Emotional regulation and mood management also drive delays. People often procrastinate to avoid uncomfortable feelings, boredom, anxiety, doubt, so they pick instant mood repair, a funny clip, social feed, instead of the task. A realistic tactic is to build short mood breaks into work. Commit to 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a strict 5-minute break for something enjoyable. Keep breaks timed and tracked. And when avoidance is rooted in stress or burnout, respond with compassion. Lower the bar temporarily, delegate, or ask for help. Small, concrete changes matter more than motivation slogans. Design your environment and next steps so starting becomes the easy, default choice. What procrastination protects you from? Procrastination often functions as an emotional shield that buys you short-term calm by keeping you away from whatever feels threatening about a task. When your stomach tightens at the thought of sending a difficult email, avoiding it removes the immediate churn of anxiety. That relief is real and measurable in your behavior, and it explains why the habit repeats. Your brain rewards the avoidance with a tiny dose of stress relief. Notice the pattern by pausing the next time you put something off. Write down the single feeling you get: anxiety, shame, boredom, dread, and you'll begin to see what you're protecting yourself from. Sometimes the protection is from the risk of being seen as incompetent or imperfect. Delaying keeps your self-image intact. If you never submit a draft, you can tell yourself you didn't have time rather than that it wasn't good enough. A concrete test: set a 5-minute timer to produce a deliberately bad first draft and then send it to one trusted person with a short note. Thoughts? That small, reversible experiment exposes whether perfectionism was the guard dog. If your chest eases after sending, you've learned something useful about the feeling behind the delay. Other times, the avoidance shields you from increased expectations, responsibility, or unwanted change. Not applying for a promotion might be a way to avoid more meetings, more visibility, more scrutiny. Procrastination can also hide a fear of success, because success can bring pressure you don't want. Try a practical check. List the 2 worst realistic consequences of taking the step you're avoiding. Then write a simple plan for each. For example, if promotion means more meetings, plan to block 2 hours weekly for focused work as a safety net. Making the worst case manageable often removes the need to hide. Procrastination is also a mood regulator when you're burned out or overwhelmed. It protects you from doing hard things while low on energy. That's not laziness, it's damage control. Use small, supportive tactics. Break the task into a single 3-minute action. Swap a high-energy task for a low-energy one, or do a 60-second reset. Drink water. Take 1 lap around the room before a tiny commitment. Picture it like a smoke alarm you silence. Useful in the moment, but if the smoke keeps building, you need to fix the source. Acknowledge the protection, then choose one tiny, specific step to test whether the danger is still real. Tiny tools to start in 5 minutes. Short, focused starts lower the barrier to action. Committing to a 5-minute attempt often converts dread into momentum. Use a visible timer and a specific micro-goal so the mind knows exactly what tiny job it's signing up for. Examples work well. Instead of work on report, write open report file and type 1 header. That single, concrete step takes less thinking and makes the rest easier. Set a 5-minute timer on your phone or a simple kitchen timer and treat it like a mini contract with yourself. Use the timer method with a named micro-action. 5 minutes. Clear inbox to unread 10, or 5 minutes. Find receipts for last month. One practical habit is the 2-click rule. Make your first move 2 clicks or fewer, like opening the folder, starting a new doc, or switching on the app. Try canned responses and snippets for email. Save a short template, such as "Thanks. First I'll review this and get back to you by 10th," and paste it in 1 tap. Text expansion tools, built-in phone shortcuts, or apps like Text Expander let you turn a 2-letter trigger into a full reply, shaving off decision time. Keep physical and visual tools ready, so starting feels mechanical instead of monumental. Place a single sticky note on your laptop that says the exact first line to type, or keep a clean notepad and pen by the keyboard to scribble a 1-sentence plan. Clear 5 items from your workspace in 2 minutes. Less clutter means fewer excuses. Record a 30-second voice memo outlining what to do next. When you play it back, the task is already framed and you can act immediately. Another quick trick: create a start folder with 1 document per frequent task. Opening the folder is the signal to begin. Combine micro tools into tiny routines that respect real life and interruptions. For example, paying a bill. Open your banking app, set a 5-minute timer, type the payee name in the search bar, and pause. You completed the start even if the payment waits. For emails, schedule a 5-minute triage block. Open inbox, start 3 important messages, archive the rest. When task resistance returns, use a recovery ritual. Stretch, drink water, reset the 5-minute timer, then do 1 micro action. Small wins stack. They don't require heroic energy, just methodical little nudges. Keep expectations realistic, celebrate the tiny progress, and remember that starting is the real work. The rest tends to follow. How to make tasks feel smaller. Breaking a big task into clear micro steps lowers the mental weight of starting and reduces decision fatigue. When your brain sees a single, concrete action instead of a fuzzy project, it's easier to take that first step. For example, instead of write the quarterly report, make the first action, open a blank document, and paste last quarter's data. That one move removes the biggest barrier, the blank screen. Turn vagueness into a checklist of physical actions. Write down the exact next move you would take with your hands or keyboard. Locate invoice folder, delete 5 emails, put 1 load of laundry in the washer. Keep each item to a single decision so you aren't asking yourself what comes next. If you're prepping a presentation, your micro steps might be: create slide file, copy the slide template, add title slide, draft 3 bullet points for slide 2. Those are tiny, doable bites. They won't embarrass you, and they won't require motivational speeches. Use known tactics to keep chunks bite-sized and time-friendly. The 2-minute rule helps. If a step takes 2 minutes or less, do it now. For longer focus, use a Pomodoro, 25 minutes locked-in work, 5 minutes break. Start with 1 Pomodoro and promise yourself only that. Open the file. Write 1 paragraph. That small result often leads to another. Momentum builds quietly, like a snowball getting a little bigger as it rolls downhill. Remove friction around the step you want to take. Put materials where you can grab them. Stash a notepad by your laptop. Put workout clothes beside the bed. Make a folder shortcut on your desktop. Create templates for repetitive tasks. Email responses, invoice formats, grocery lists. So the next micro step is fill in the blanks, not figure out structure. Batch similar tiny actions together. Clear 5 emails, then schedule 2 calls, then archive receipts. Batching reduces context switching and makes each micro step feel familiar. Make progress visible and satisfying. Use a simple checklist, a whiteboard, or move sticky notes from to-do to done. The physical act of crossing something off is disproportionately motivating. If a micro step still feels big, split it again until it's something you could finish in a single sitting without planning a strategy session. Be practical with yourself. Not every micro step will be thrilling, and that's okay. Small, repeated actions add up, and that steady accumulation beats sporadic grand plans every time. Daily routine to keep momentum. Momentum builds when small, repeated actions are chained together, so the next step feels easier than starting from zero. In practical terms, that means a morning mini routine that clears decision fatigue and points you at the single most important thing for the day. Do this. Spend 5 minutes after your first coffee to write down 3 doable priorities, not a laundry list. Pick the one that matters most and schedule the first work block for it before checking email or social apps. For example, if your priority is finish client proposal, break it into outline, draft sections A and B, and revise the conclusion. Then commit to drafting the outline in the first focus block. Start work with a low-friction initiation trick so momentum can catch you. Use the 2-minute rule. Tell yourself you'll work for only 2 minutes on the task, and once you're in, you often keep going. Pair that with a physical ritual. Make a mug, clear a 30-inch space on your desk, or put on headphones so your brain associates that cue with focused work. If you're writing a report, a good ritual might be opening a blank document and typing a single sentence. It sounds tiny, but one sentence often turns into a paragraph. Structure the day into predictable time blocks that match your energy. Mornings are often best for analytical tasks, while afternoons can be for meetings or low-focus chores. Try a concentrated work block of about 25 minutes followed by a short break and repeat. During a long project, batch similar tasks together. Research, drafting, editing, so you avoid constant context switching. If you have a 30-minute window before a call, use it to clear a small batch task like answering 3 priority emails rather than starting a new big project. Build small reset points to protect momentum through the day. Midday, do a quick 5-minute check. what's done, what still blocks you, and what's the one next step for each priority. If energy dips, swap to a different type of task for 20, 40 minutes, or take a brisk walk. Moving your body is a concrete way to refresh focus. End the workday with a 10-minute wrap. Note 2 wins, list next actions for tomorrow, and set a single MIT for the morning. That little closure makes the next start feel automatic, like following a recipe. Keep interruptions honest by creating guardrails rather than pretending they won't happen. Turn off non-essential notifications during work blocks. Set an auto-reply for deep focus windows if needed, and let teammates know your 2 or 3 daily focus periods. When a true urgent item appears, log it and decide immediately whether it displaces the day's MIT or gets slotted elsewhere. Don't let reactive work eat the whole day. Think of interruptions like potholes. Expect some and steer around most, but deal with the big ones decisively. Finally, be realistic and forgiving. Momentum isn't about perfection. It's about consistent tiny wins. Some days you'll get 3 MITs done, and some days you'll manage only 1. Celebrate the small progress, but also note patterns. If you never seem to get a type of task done, change when you schedule it or how you prepare for it. A simple, repeatable routine that respects your energy and constraints will carry you farther than rare bursts of heroic effort. Quick recap. Break big jobs into tiny next actions. Instead of due taxes, find last year's W-2. Use short timers, 10, 25 minutes. Remove friction. Open the exact file. Put your phone in another room. Try the 2-minute rule for tiny wins and schedule concrete start times, not vague hopes. First, know you're busy and tired of productivity hacks that feel like extra homework. Try one simple thing right now. Pick the task you've been avoiding, write the next physical step on a sticky note, set a 10-minute timer, and start. If you stop after 10 minutes, that's fine. Most people keep going once they're rolling. Small, repeatable actions beat grand plans. Think of tasks like short walks instead of marathons. One step at a time, and you'll get farther than you expect. No, this won't make folding socks glamorous, but it will make them happen. If this helped, hit like and subscribe so you won't miss practical tips that actually fit a busy life. Leave a comment telling me which task you started today. First read them, and it keeps the whole thing real. Next week, First will show a simple weekly setup to turn these short starts into steady momentum. Be realistic, be kind to yourself, and take one small action now. See you in the next video.